10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, how we doing, everybody? Got that bank holiday little shimmy going on. Don't know why, because I'm still going to be here today. I'm still going to be here tomorrow at 9:30 anyway. So I'm still working. But how are we all doing? Sam here, United People's TV, as I am every single day, Monday to Friday. We're here live and direct, 9:30 in the morning, bringing you all the latest Manchester United news, just like I do every single day. How are you all doing? Let me see who's down here in the comments. We've got Josh, we've got Ant, we've got Nigel, Paula, T, we've got Collins. Good morning to you, Nick, as well. I can see you, Anne, Neil, Chris, Alex, and lots more joining in. Good morning to all of you. First things first, don't shoot the messenger. Second, we're talking about Frenkie de Jong. Just like I think we probably will be every day. All right. It's just that's who Manchester United are going after. Whether or not you think that de Jong is the right person for Manchester United to be going after this summer, we are going after him. Fabrizio Romano tweeted yesterday, basically just as I finished the live stream. We'll run through everything that he said and what Patrick Berger said from out in Germany as well. I'll run through all of those reports. I suppose the bigger reports and the updates this morning will revolve around Jurrien Timber, who, I'll be honest, if I was looking at the two transfers, which one of those would I be more confident that Manchester United would be doing? I would probably have said Jurrien Timber. Maybe not. Maybe that confidence was misplaced. We'll speak about that. Yesterday, of course, we got the official confirmation about Paul Pogba and Jesse Lingard. You would have seen my Paul Pogba reaction, no doubt. We'll speak about both of those today in this video. Who else are we talking? We're talking about Diogo Dalot. We're speaking about Rio Ferdinand, or soon to be Rio Ferdinand, MBE. Is it MBE? OBE? Can't remember what letters he got. Let's have a look. OBE, not MBE. He's not a sir. Not yet. But look, I'll run through it all as I do this morning. Good morning to you, Klein. Good morning to everybody. But look, this, of course, was the big breaking news yesterday. Manchester United have opened direct. As I said, let's waste no time getting into the show. I try to what I will say before I start this. It's going to be a busy summer for United. But when it comes to United, something we all have to remember, because we are United, because we are still probably the biggest ticket in town as far as news coverage goes. The coverage will be exhaustive. It might be up and down. There might be twists and turns, and far more twists and turns than any club. It's simply because of the size of the club we are. Manchester United. Sex sells, so does Manchester United. And that's why we get these constant twists and turns and sagas and ups and downs. And we seem to get involved in ridiculously complicated transfer situations. Now, the de Jong one, as I said, is even more complicated by the fact that A, de Jong doesn't really want to leave. B, Barcelona don't really want to sell, but they might be forced to, in the same way they were forced to let Lionel Messi go, in the same way they were forced. I think Arthur Melo was another situation as well. But this is what Fabrizio said yesterday morning. He said, Manchester United have opened direct talks with Barca for Frenkie de Jong. Price tag. Now, this is, 85 million. 85 million. Jesus, that's a lot. Waiting for an opening bid. De Jong is still not convinced to leave Barcelona, and he wants Champions League football. I don't really understand this obsession with Champions League football for Frenkie de Jong. Maybe someone can enlighten me in the comments. I don't know. It's like, is it really going to make that much of a difference to his overall career if he misses out on the Champions League for 1 year? I mean, it's not as if Barcelona are going to win the Champions League this year. Realistically, right? They stay in the competition. He stays at Barcelona. He plays Champions League football. Maybe they're getting to the quarterfinals. Maybe. And that's at a push. What? Why does it matter that much that he's staying there if he's not genuinely thinking he's going to win it? And they've got sweet FA chance of winning it next year. But 85 million. 85 million is a lot. What are you all saying down here about the price? Not worth 85? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's absolutely not. The board should be serious, says Louis, and make signings. We're tired of these rumors. I don't know why you're singing, Louis, but apparently you're singing. As I said, it's literally the 2nd of June. So you might be tired of transfers and tired of X, Y, Z. The transfer window is not even officially open for 8 days. The transfer window doesn't open for 8 days and doesn't close until the 1st of September. So if you're tired now, geez, you are going to be tired. Let's see. Let's read a few more of your comments out on this. It's for the stats. It's for the stats, baby. No guarantee United get Champions League football. No, that's a fair point as well. Of course, that might be part of it. Likely tied to his sponsorships, maybe. Assumption there, but that could potentially be part of it. But I'll be honest, I don't think he'll be driven by that. I don't think most players aren't driven by what their sponsors want. I don't think so anyway. But look, Fabrizio not only released this on Twitter, he went into a bit more detail over his Instagram account, which maybe some of you wouldn't have seen. So let's run him through what he said on here, and then I'll head back down to the comments. He said, Man United have opened talks for De Jong. United are now in direct contact with Barca for De Jong, and the talks have started. So look, the one thing that we have to understand here completely about Frenkie de Jong, whether or not we have this debate in the comments, as we do pretty much most days, about whether going after Frenkie de Jong is the right move for the club. When do we back out? How long do we spend wasting our time on a player that might not join? X, Y, Z. Man United are going after him. Ten Hag is aggressively going after Frenkie de Jong, and he's clearly put him as number one priority on that list. Erik Ten Hag obviously is utterly convinced that he can bring Frenkie de Jong in. He's convinced that his project, that his conversations with de Jong will be more of a sway for him than Champions League football next year. Whether he's selling the idea of the Ajax reunion party, whether he's selling the idea of just the project he's doing at Manchester United. Ten Hag's leading this. Ten Hag is the reason we are going so deep with de Jong. Considering how much has already been released about he wants to stay at the club wants to hold on to him. It is. That's what it is. I don't know. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. And man, what are you saying? They no longer have a deadline date for him. The deadline that as far as we know, is around about the 16th of June. After the board meeting that happened with Barcelona this week, that's when they're going to be making the decision on the likes of the licensing merchandising deal, on the broadcast revenue deals, on Barcelona's alternative ways of making revenue without selling a player like Frenkie de Jong. If they can do that, they will avoid selling de Jong this summer. That's pretty much guaranteed. But if they can't avoid that, and that's what we don't know yet, and that unfortunately is what is driving this saga, if you want to call it. It's out of Manchester United's hands, and we have to simply wait to see if Barcelona can do the deal. And if they can't, we want to take advantage of it. Sandeep is saying if Barca don't want to sell him, they wouldn't have opened talks with United in the first place. Of course, it's a very fair point from Sandeep. And it's a case of Barcelona are keeping all their avenues and all their options open. They can't just completely and utterly dismiss Manchester United and say, no, de Jong's not going anywhere. And all of a sudden, these talks about getting money elsewhere collapse. And they're like, hello, just knocking on United's door saying, let us back in. And we're like, no, screw up. Let's sort off. Jake with a fair question. I don't think we are the only club linked with de Jong. I think City have been linked. Although, did you hear yesterday that Guardiola actually met personally with Paul Pogba to discuss the transfer? We'll speak about that later in the show. De Jong are obviously linked with him City are linked with de Jong because Fernandinho's left, and I think Gundogan is going to be leaving this summer as well. Haven't really heard too much about anywhere else though. Mate, if you have, look, you can let me know. Manoa, what you're saying there? One of the OGs. Nice to see there as always. I don't care how good Frenkie is, but if we buy him, this will mean we haven't learned our lesson. Don't bring people who don't want to be here. Now, Manoa, I know I'm going to kind of sound like a hypocrite when I say this, but I feel like it's slightly different with de Jong. Just because of the Ten Hag factor, I feel like it's a little bit different. It's just because he'd be leaving his dream in Barcelona doesn't mean that he wouldn't be happy at Manchester United. And as I said, the only reason that he would leave Barcelona and the only reason Barcelona would sell him would be because if they have a situation where they cannot afford to have him. And it will be a sad departure. Of course it would be. But it wouldn't be a departure where he's forced out the door. It will be a departure where the club explains to him saying, look, sorry, but we have to sell you. And it would be a situation that would be probably a bitter pill for him to swallow, but one that he would professionally have to accept and move on. And that's just the shit show that is Barcelona. They can't register their new players at the moment. And I personally think 85 million, yeah, good luck with that, Barcelona. Good luck with that. How much did they sign him for? I think it was around about 75 million there. Barcelona sign de Jong. I think it was around about 72, 73 million pounds. Oh, 65. There you go. BBC. Let's have a look. Let's bring this up here. So they want 85 million euros, don't they? Let's bring the BBC article up, see what they say. Barcelona have confirmed a £65 million signing of Ajax midfielder Frenkie de Jong, an initial €75 million plus €11 million in variables. So that will be rising to around about, maybe €85 million, you could say. So basically what Barcelona are trying to do is recoup the money they paid for him 3 years ago. I don't personally think they'll be able to do that. I don't personally think that Frenkie de Jong's stature has gone up since he's gone to Barcelona. If anything, it's gone a little bit down. It's definitely gone sideways at the very, very least. And that's what Barcelona are going to be arguing here with the price tag. But they want just as much as they paid for him. I don't personally think they'll get it. Let's deep dive into what else Fabrizio Romano had to say here. He goes, Man United and Barca are in direct talks for Ten Hag, and Ten Hag wants de Jong for his rebuilding. Barcelona have made their price clear, 85 million. Even if Xavi wants to keep him, there's still no official bid on the table, but United are prepared to try and push as they are informed about Barcelona's issue with fair play. Important point to understand. Frenkie is still not convinced to leave Barcelona this summer. He'd love to stay and he wants to play Champions League football. Ten Hag will continue to try to push him, and so will Barcelona. So will Manchester United. We're not going to slow down on this. As I said, whether or not any of us agree that it's the right thing to be going after him, whether or not any of us feel that we might be wasting our time to go after him, we're going after him. We are going after Frenkie de Jong, guns akimbo. Now, we could talk, I think a fair alternative would probably Ruben Neves. I think so anyway. Maybe I'll do a video next week. I could do a video looking at 5 potential alternatives to Frenkie de Jong. Because I think we've, in the same way that Barcelona might not want to have a conversation with United about selling de Jong, they have to keep that avenue open, right? Because if these licensing or broadcast deals don't go through, then they need United. They need to sell de Jong. Same sort of thing with United actually signing de Jong. We want de Jong and maybe he's our top choice, but what if it doesn't work out? What if, by the time June 16th comes around, Barcelona have secured hundreds of millions and they don't need to sell de Jong? Then we've got to look elsewhere. We need alternatives. So I imagine we're doing that behind the scenes, but maybe we can do a video on it. And you're saying, Sam, if we're accepting de Jong, which may be for the wrong reasons, why not Dybala or other players who will come for the money, or perhaps the manager? Dybala's just coming for the money, and that's what I mean. That's why de Jong is different. I don't think de Jong would come for... He's not going to come to United and get a huge pay rise. I think if anything, he'd actually take a pay cut to come to United. And I can't imagine. So I think he's on about $275 a week? Thereabouts of what Bruno Fernandes is on. I don't think he'd be coming to Manchester United for the money. Paulo Dybala absolutely would be. If Dybala... Sorry, taking something off my ankle here. Lovely. If Dybala came to Manchester United, it would just be about the money. So that's why I say it's ever so slightly different and more subtle when it comes to de Jong. It's a good question there from Londoner. So when's the giveaway, Sam, mate? Can anyone win it that's joined the Telegram? Baby. Tomorrow is the giveaway. That's what everyone's been waiting for. Sod the Queen and her Jubilees. No offense, Liz. It's all about the giveaway. Tomorrow, I'm going to be announcing the winner of this. If you haven't already joined, where are you? What are you doing? It really is a fantastic... And maybe I'm biased because it's our community, but it's fantastic in there. It really is. So many, literally thousands of you have joined in so far. There's daily conversation, real, genuine conversation and debate. I like engaging in there and I like chatting in there. And that's where I'll be doing members only content in there, but I'll be choosing one random person here live on the stream tomorrow for that 250 quid giveaway. Cash monies. What a perfect way to go into the bank holiday. So if you want to enter the competition, all you've got to do is join the Telegram. I'm just going to choose one random person there. Apart from Orr, obviously, because Orr's not allowed to win anything. I'm joking. Brendan, you can't seem to join the Telegram. I'm not sure why. Maybe if you're in the WhatsApp group, one of the mods will help you there. I'm sure one of the mods will help you join anyway. But this, something about the price tag here, which I found quite funny on the Frenkie de Jong situation. Fabrizio Romano there tweeting about 10:30 yesterday morning saying, look, 85 million. And then quite literally like 50 minutes later, Patrick Berger, who is a very prominent German journalist, comes out and says, yeah, the price tag's been set. 80 million euros. It's almost like they're making it up. Almost like they're making it up. I don't think that they're going to get that much for him. I really don't. I think we've had this conversation before, but I like to keep asking it. How much do you think is a genuine good price for Frenkie de Jong? Both from Barcelona's perspective, from Manchester United's perspective. How much can they realistically expect to get for de Jong? And how much will United actually pay for him? So a player of that quality, and try not to get too distracted by the fact that we paid 80 million for Harry Maguire, and therefore we should be paying at least 80 million for. Ignore that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's kind of. I'm just talking about this in isolation compared to those sorts of players in the market. Hallow, you think it's roughly about 60 million? I'm guessing all of you are talking in million here and not euros, by the way. 60 million, 70. I don't think it's going 70. Inter will not be doing that. I don't think so. 50 million, then you add United tax, 70 million, 65 to 70. I personally think 60 million. 60 million is where I think United. I don't think we'll go in there. If you've ever, come on, people, if you've ever negotiated for anything in your life, your first bid will be less than you're willing to pay. And if you don't do that, then you don't really know how to negotiate. Negotiations are a set of tactics that you employ, whether it's buying a house, whether it's down the market, trying to buy a knockoff shirt. You haggle. You go in lower. You disagree. Ideally, you come up somewhere in the middle of where you'd actually be willing to pay and your original offer. And therefore, you get it a little bit less than what you originally intended to pay. So I would imagine that Manchester United's first official offer would probably be in the region of 50 to 55 million for Frenkie de Jong. That will obviously be rejected out of hand by Barcelona, but it will open the negotiations. And somewhere in between is probably where it's going to be. So 60 to 65 million. I mean, I wouldn't. Ultimately, I don't give a shit. And I said this yesterday. I don't care, really, if it's like 65 or 75 or 55. How much difference is that going to make to my life? Probably not much at all. But when it comes to negotiations, it's on John Murto, man. It's going to be a tough summer, and it's starting off tough. We've got two situations now, two transfers, two top targets, and it's not going to be easy for either of them. That's the latest on Frenkie de Jong from yesterday, but there's quite a lot to talk about Jurrien Timber this morning. I'm going to head straight into that now. I'm going to read a few more of your comments out there first. Paula, what you're saying, but do our negotiators know how it works? I mean, that's basic negotiations. Anybody can do that, right? Obviously, it's a little bit more subtle, a little bit more nuanced in signing a player because of everything that's involved in a deal. It's not simply a case of a single price, shake your hand. It's a bit more difficult than that. Jake, you're saying, are you happy that we didn't sign anybody in January now? So Eric has a fresh start and can sign anyone he wants. Still would have preferred Manchester United to sign a midfielder, a powerful central midfielder in January that was in profile with the manager we knew we were going after. So someone like Amadou Haidara would probably fit into this Eric Ten Hag system, would definitely have improved our squad for the last 4 or 5 months anyway. That's what I think so. Do you think, Ty, what you're saying, do you think the outdated stadium facilities will put players off signing for us? No, I don't, personally. I know they're outdated. I know they're not the best in class anymore compared to what happened before the Glazers came in. But I don't think that's going to put people off. I mean, the players will want to play in the Old Trafford still has got so much romance and so much history that I think from a player perspective, they overlook the leaky roof. They overlook the lacking facilities by comparison. But it's going to be a great day at some point in the future when United walk out for the first time in a renovated stadium. You're like, this is the start. It will feel like the start of something new. Whenever that happens, sod knows when that's going to be. Whether it's going to be a new stadium, whether it's going to be a renovated Old Trafford, nobody knows. It will happen at some point. It will be beautiful when that happens. But look, let's move on to Jurrien Timber. As I said, if I was to look at these two transfer targets, Frenkie de Jong and Jurrien Timber, I personally would have been more confident of Jurrien Timber. Maybe that confidence was misplaced. Let's run through the latest this morning from Mike Verweij out in Holland. He's saying that Ajax now have high hopes to keep Jurrien Timber at Ajax. The club is receiving more and more signals that the defender will decide to stay due to the guaranteed role he has at Ajax ahead of the World Cup. Said Ajax are also still aiming to upgrade and renew the contract of Timber. A meeting will soon take place with his management, and the return of his brother Quintin Timber would help a lot into convincing him to renew. where do you sit on all of this? Where do you sit on this Timber situation? Let me run through it a little bit more. That's the news that's coming out from Mike Verweij from the Telegraaf out in Holland. But let me just go into it in a little bit more detail here, and then I'll read a few of your comments out. Now, basically, all of this revolves around this. This is the Netherlands squad for their upcoming games in the Nations League. And if you look at who Jurrien Timber's up against, so Timber's down there, of course. Who's he going to be up against in terms of the centre-back positions? He's got De Vrij there. He's got Bruno Martins in the. Remember, we were linked with him. I think that was when Van Gaal was coming in. Of course, Van Dijk's going to be the guy in that defense. You could have Nathan Ake in there as well. You've got, where is he? De Ligt. The competition. I didn't know Lang was still inside the Dutch squad. De Ligt. I mean, Jurrien Timber's got a hell of a task on his hand getting into that team. I think even if he plays every single week at Ajax, I don't think he gets into that Dutch starting 11. He's great, but at his age, is Louis van Gaal going to put him ahead of those? And I'll tell you what, we're talking about influences and voices in his ear. There's Jurrien in training, and of course, there's Louis van Gaal. I can't imagine Louis van Gaal is going to be given too many complimentary recommendations for him joining Manchester United, is he? Haldor, what are you saying, sir? You're saying, let's just go for Ndidi. Similar money to De Jong, established Premier League player. Extremely, extremely different players, Haldor. Ndidi is your protector, your screener, a true defensive midfielder whose job really is to break up and pass it to somebody else. De Jong is not that player. De Jong is your deeper lying playmaker that needs to be played alongside a ball winner. So instead of Ndidi, it's like Ndidi plus De Jong. Those two together could probably work, but it's not Ndidi or De Jong. I don't think so anyway. Someone there joining as a member. Is it Andy? I see you there joining as a member, buddy. Where are you watching from? Let me read a few of the comments out here. Matthew, what are you saying? You're saying, look, Van Gaal won't like Timber coming to us. He will put him on the naughty step. Give him a little slap upside the head. Tell you what, who is that? That guy over there is not happy. Look at that face. That is not a happy face. Let me read a few more of your comments out here about this. It's a challenge if he's at United or not. Holland have a stacked defense. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of whether he comes to Manchester United, I don't think, personally, now I might be wrong here, but looking at that squad, I do not think that Jurrien Timber is going to be getting into that starting 11. Now, Jake, of course, he's going to get more game time at Ajax. But what's going to develop him more? Staying in that... It's a tough situation, I think, really. Because on the one hand, you've got guaranteed game time. But you're now at Ajax under a new manager with new teammates in front of you. Ajax, surely Jurrien Timber will think, maybe not, because he's only 20, of course. I think he can develop far more now elsewhere. It feels like his development at Ajax, I wouldn't say it's peaked, because of course he will still continue to develop at Ajax. But surely that challenge of Manchester, I don't know. And maybe I'm just convincing myself. But yeah, the word out from Holland this morning is that Ajax, and maybe this is a ploy. Maybe this is Ajax's game, right? Of course. You can let me know what you think about that too. Super chat coming in from JK. Thank you very much, buddy. So much yellow on the screen here. Jeez. Let me get a little bit yellow off the screen. You're saying it sounds like Ajax are pushing United to make a formal offer or trying to keep the price inflated. They want to plan for their next season, hence the comments about Timber possibly staying. Exactly what I was saying there, my friend. This may well be their negotiation tactic and their negotiation ploy. If Erik ten Hag gets neither of them, it's egg on his face. It's absolutely zero egg on Erik ten Hag's face. This is all on John Murtough and Andy O'Boyle, Steve Brown. That's our recruitment side of things. Erik ten Hag is the man who is saying, these are the players I want to sign. I'm going on holiday. Do your job. This will have nothing to do with Erik ten Hag failing to get his transfer targets. Although, of course, that is exactly how it will be sold at the press. Ten Hag is a man who is trying to... Maybe the De Jong situation, you could throw in a little bit of, not blame, but you could say he's partly responsible because he will be the person that is able to convince De Jong or is not able to convince De Jong. Whereas with Timber, it's just like, it's down to what he thinks is best for his career at this point. Is it staying at Ajax to try and get into this Dutch national team? Or has he got more chance of getting into that team by coming to Manchester United? It's definitely a tough decision. I wouldn't say it's straightforward either way. It is tough. Dara, what are you saying? Saw an interview today with a Spanish journalist. De Jong will double his wages if he joins us. Also, he won't double his wages. Do you know how much he's on there? He's on like 200-300 grand a week. he's not doubling his wages if he comes to Manchester United. Collins, you're saying what guarantees him game time under a new manager at Ajax? The fact that he's one of their best players guarantees his game time at Ajax. Lisandro Martinez and Jurrien Timber was a centre-back partnership that Ajax have built their title-winning team on. He absolutely will play there. Lots of you mentioning Jules Koundé down here in the comments. I think he's going to be going Chelsea, personally. Bernardo Silva wants to leave City. Well, we're not going to get him. Andy, you're watching from Wigan. Nice to see you there, buddy. Never been Wigan. Am I missing anything? You let me know. In Van der Sar, we trust he'll do some magic. Hey, look, I don't know whether Van der Sar is going to help. I think it all comes down to what he wants. If Jurrien Timber wants to stay at Ajax and feels that his career can continue to progress, that he can get closer to that Dutch national team by staying at Ajax, then he will. But I tell you one thing I'm not willing to compromise on. I saw this. This is only coming from the Mirror, but the idea of it. Timber is now agonizing over whether to call the deal off, although a compromise that would see him join Manchester United in January is also on the table. Now, what do you think about that? Obviously, the reason that could happen is because it's a Winter World Cup this year. That happens in December. By the time January comes around, the World Cup is over. Would you be willing to settle for that as a compromise? I don't fucking think I would. Personally. I don't want compromises this season. I don't want any compromises this summer. That's why the idea, I remember back 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, we were all debating about choices. And I was so confused as to why Luis Enrique was ever being labelled as a target. I was like, why? He's going to be managing Spain in the World Cup. What, we're just going to keep Rangnick until November and then bring someone else in mid-season again and then start mid-season? I was like, no chance. No chance. And I personally don't think that we should be willing to compromise that. Timber either comes in now or we move elsewhere and we bring someone else in. And there will be other targets, right? Of course, Pau Torres is the main name that we've been linked with apart from Jurrien Timber. But I don't know. I don't particularly... Oh, look at that. Oh, shit, that's happened literally 52 seconds ago. Why do they keep doing this? Look at that. Let's move on quickly because we've just got an official announcement from Manchester United. Juan Mata. Man, I love Juan. I really do. Honestly, out of all the players that are going, of all the players that are leaving, that's the one that I'm not upset about it. Let me just quickly tweet about it whilst I'm here live on stream with you. I'm not upset about Juan leaving. I think it's the right thing that Juan leaves. But I hope he comes back to Manchester United in an ambassador capacity. I really, really do. I think he's been such a great player for the club, such a great professional for the club. Yeah, man, I love him. I love him. I really, really do. Let me just quickly tweet about Juan. I'll leave that on screen there for you. I can't actually figure out how to multitask like that. I can't think of the tweet to do. So I'll just do it after the stream. But look, I've already done a reaction to Pogba's situation yesterday. Look at that. It's the 2nd of June. We talk about things happening fast. Yesterday, Manchester United announced the departure of Paul Pogba. Yesterday, Manchester United announced the departure of Jesse Lingard. Today, Manchester United have now announced the departure of Juan Mata, who is leaving the club. Shit is happening, man. It's starting. It's happening quickly. That's now official confirmation of all 6. I did my video yet last night. Pogba's gone, Lingard's gone, Mata's now gone, Cavani's gone, Matic is gone, and Lee Grant is gone. All 6. Confirmation. Auf Wiedersehen, pets. Toodle pips. Now let's move on to the likes of Jones, Martial, Bay, Henderson, Pereira. Let's go. Let's get it done. Get her done. My husband calls him Juan Matalan. That is a really bad name. Although Matalan's got some decent bargains. He's better than that. But he was brilliant for us. Pity didn't get more minutes in the last couple of years. It's almost like we signed him a few years after where his peak was. His peak happened at Chelsea when he was their, dual player of the year. But Juan Mata was an absolute magician. He gave us one of our biggest and best memories post-Fergie that day at Anfield, where we played Liverpool off the park. I remember the counter attack. Was it Ander Herrera with the first goal? The counter, the speed. I think Mata got the assist as well. And then his scissor kick. Woof, 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 woof. Yogi, thank you, Juan Mata. Lots of you in the comments here, all saying the same thing, man. Thank you to Juan. I wouldn't say he'll be sorely missed, not in terms of a playing situation, but as an individual, as a professional, as a human being, the club will miss him. But again, emotion aside, that is the right thing for the club to do. Take the emotion out of it. Juan Mata leaving frees up wages, frees up a position in our squad that someone younger, hungrier, and with his career ahead of him can come in and take those minutes. Good news all round. Oh man, I keep saying, I'm going to say this every day, but this summer is just going to be that summer where we look back and go, you know what? That's where it really started to change. That's where it really did change. 6 players left on free contracts. Everything changing behind the scenes at the club. New manager comes in. Football director is really taking over. Richard Arnold is doing what he said he should and would be doing. And then we're going to make the new signings that hopefully shows our recruitment is switched. This hopefully is the summer where Manchester United stop becoming a laughingstock. And I think it started well. I say it started well. They're all players who are leaving on free contracts, but at least they're not surprised us and given a curveball by any of them coming back in. Helga, unfortunately, I've read the same thing, but I think that's just hearsay at this moment in time. Let's not get too downbeaten by that just yet. Anyway, question regarding hiring players. Is Ten Hag's military training, if Ten Hag's military training is like Conte's? If so, while successful here, it's not particularly fun. No, I don't give a shit if it puts players. If it puts players off, good. Those players that are going to be put off by his training, I don't want them at the club. Simple as that. Haldo, I think you sent a couple of super chats, my friend, but you haven't put anything with it, so I can't read them out. So just send a normal comment in, and I'll read that out if I can spot your name. See you later, Paul, Pogba, and Jesse. They were a large part of the unprofessional atmosphere. They were a large part of... I mean, they were. Realistically, they were. They were part of a mentality and a attitude of just like, I've made it. I'm done. I'm not going to do any more here. I can't be asked to do any more here. And that attitude was bringing the club down. And by cutting ties with all these players, one by one, the club will start looking upwards again instead of having its head pulled downwards. Daniel saying, do we know how much wages frees up from all those players leaving? Yes, Daniel, I think if I'm correct, it's over £1 million a week. If you look at Cavani, who was on around about 270, I think, roughly 250-ish. Paul Pogba was over 300, I believe. Juan Mata was around about 150-ish. Lingard was about 100. Lee Grant was on £3.94. I think it's in the region of £1 million anyway. Dara saying, not saying true about his double wages, but Alvaro Montero interview said the package is to be prepared to be the highest paid United player. He can say what he wants, but that's not going to happen. That simply is not going to happen. And I can say that with utter confidence. He's not going to come in and become our highest paid. I mean, De Gea is currently our highest paid. No, Ronaldo's our highest paid player. You think De Jong's going to come in and be our highest paid player? Nope. I don't care what he says. That's an extra 52 million. Look at that. Look how happy the Glazers are, the little fucking pricks. Now, you're probably right, Josh. It was about £3.60, to be fair. Lots of you talking about Maguire in the comments. I can't really be asked to talk about Maguire anymore. Not for me. Maguire needs to go. Even if Maguire needs to go, I don't think Maguire will go this summer. I think I've said that to you before. I'll tell you one thing that really caught me by surprise. I mean, if you don't laugh when you read this headline, then you might genuinely cry. Because Paul Pogba's leaving Manchester United with a loyalty bonus. He's getting a bonus at the end of all of that. Wow. That goes to show how bad the contracts are. Bad the situations that you know. But we're paying Paul Pogba to leave on a free. That I don't think it will ever be beaten in football. How much United lost in depreciation on Paul Pogba. We paid 88 million and 6 years later he leaves for a free. And a loyalty bonus. I don't think that's ever going to be beaten in football. Ever. Actually, no. How much did Barca pay for Coutinho? Ooh, that might be one, actually. Just thought about that one off the top of my head. Coutinho and then went to Villa. I think they lost about 100 odd million, didn't they? Okay, Cert Giant with the worst comment of the year so far. Thank you very much, Cert. Do you think Maguire could be turned into a DM? Sorry, Cert. Didn't mean to offend you there, but no. I mean, could you imagine him and the turning circle of Harry Maguire in defensive midfield? Michael, dude. There's absolutely no chance he could play in defensive midfield. He'd just get neck ache straight away. Ray, you're saying training not supposed to be fun. It's training. That's exactly what you do. Training is all about repeating the same thing 100 times until you do it subconsciously, so that when you need to do it in a match environment, you do it without thinking. You do it instinctively, and you're the best at it. That's what training's all about. It's not supposed to be fun. You don't go to the gym to have fun. You go to the gym to work hard to improve yourself. So that the next time you go in there, it's easier. You're stronger. That's what training's all about. News about Timber. We've already talked about Timber there this morning. But yeah, Maguire's a DM. That genuinely has to be one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. Sorry, sir. I don't mean to offend you there. But look, I do try and engage in the comments wherever possible. Let me see what else is happening on the old Twitterati at the moment. But yeah, why matter? There you go. We've got the six free transfers are all done. Manchester United statement. Thank you for dedicating 8 years of your career to United. Everyone at the club wishes you the best for the future. I hope he can go back to Spain. I hope he can enjoy himself. Yeah, man. Why matter? I hope he does come back to the club at some point. But yeah. Oh, you bastard. I fell into the trap. You got me there. Didn't see that. Damn it. Sandy, let's sign Timber's brother too. All right, let's calm down here. We don't want him that much. You couldn't get more different players, Pogba and Mata. One who's his class, the other is a mercenary. I don't know whether we can fairly label him as a mercenary. Otherwise, he would have just joined City. Guardiola did meet him in person, told him how much he wanted him to join City, and he decided no. So, at the very least, you got to give him that, which is pretty much as we can give him. Matthew, what are you saying down here, sir? What we need, Sam, is a replacement for Matic. He was good, and what he did, he just lost the pace of the game. It's a bit like Juan Mata, both of them. The game sped up too much for Matic and Mata's legs to keep up with it. That's what happened, really. And obviously they got old. That at the same time doesn't really help. We've needed to replace Matic for a couple of years already, let alone what's going on this summer. Mata, I don't think we will replace him. I don't think we need to replace him. We've got Hannibal coming through. We've got Donny van der Beek, who will be coming back into the squad. We have plenty of options inside that number 8 role. We don't need to replace Juan Mata. And that's why I knew that he had to be leaving. And look, I'd love to bring him back as a coach. I'd love him bring him back in some capacity to the club. That's what I would love to see. Let's go down here and see what you're saying. Fred, is it right that Paul Pogba costs? I don't know what the numbers are. They're not going to be nice, though. They are not going to be nice. What else are you saying down here? What do you think about those Mason Mount rumours? I'll tell you what, Mason Mount is one player I suppose I've had to kind of semi-apologise to over the last... I just completely dismissed him as anything good. I think he's a decent player, but he's also very good at losing cup finals. He lost like 6 now. What an absolutely horrendous record is. Thank you very much, Tony, saying this show is amazing. Keep it up, very informative. I appreciate that, man. That's what I always try and do. There is so much daily content out there on United. I mean, you know how many different United channels there are. I'll always try and tread my own path. I'll always try and be distinct on here and try and actually run through the news with you, bring the news with you on screen, interact with you, have a conversation with you, rather than just spouting my opinion. Because ultimately, my opinion doesn't matter any more than yours matters. It's just I'm behind the camera and you're sitting there watching it. But yeah, as I said, because I've covered United for so long, having run the website for like my full-time job for like 7-8 years after I built it, and now doing this as my full-time job, I try to have some sort of journalistic integrity where possible. So I try to keep on top of what's reliable and what's not. But to sum up what the news is today, we ran through everything that Fabrizio Romano said yesterday on Frenkie de Jong. United are going after him, man. United are really, really going after de Jong. I hope that it doesn't end up with us having egg on our face. I hope it ends up with de Jong joining the club. But I suppose we'll see. United are really going after him, though. Now, it's that de Jong situation. Sorry, not de Jong. The Timber situation, which kind of caught me by surprise. I think... I don't know. It depends where you think Timber thinks, a lot of thinking going on here. Where's my best chance to get into that squad? Is it staying at Ajax and playing every single week? Or is it going to Manchester United, playing under Erik ten Hag, and potentially not playing every week? In that sense, yeah, staying at Ajax might be your best chance, but your chance to take a step up to show that you're ready to play at the level at the World Cup. Surely Louis van Gaal will be looking at him going, right, okay, Jurrien Timber decided to stay at Ajax because it's a comfortable environment. I don't think he's ready for the step up to this top table yet. That's why I think so anyway. We need a new Paul Scholes. My God, we need a new Paul Scholes. We need a new Roy Keane. We need a new Ruud van Nistelrooy. We need a new Nemanja Vidic. We need a lot of players. So at this moment in time, Manchester United are only aggressively going after De Jong and Timber. We're obviously linked with the likes of Pau Torres, tentatively linked with players like Tyrell Malacia from Feyenoord. But United are it seems like we've got the blinders on in a good way. We've got to focus on our targets, and we are going after our targets. Just don't know whether we're going to get them at this particular moment in time. But as I said, it's only the 2nd of June. These sorts of conversations that we're normally having at the start of July, right? When the season's only 6 weeks away and we still need to make 3 or 4 big signings. It's good that we can have these conversations earlier. We can get these conversations out of the way earlier. That's nice. So I'm hoping that, as I said, fingers crossed, in the next 2 weeks. So by that deadline of 16th of June, the United have got something done. Because now that we've got Ten Hag in, he's settled in. Good. Now that we've got Andy O'Boyle in, he's settled in. Good. Now that we've confirmed the departure of all 6 free transfers. Good. That's everything that we needed to do. Done. Now, let's move on to what we actually have to do this summer. Sell these players. Sign these new players. We've ticked off quite a few things already this summer. You might be upset and annoyed at the fact that we haven't signed anybody, but United have been busy. Now, it's all pure focus on the signings we're making and the players we are selling, now that everything else is done. That's why I think so anyway. Lucas, where are you watching from, my friend? I'm going to guess Greece, but I might be wrong. You can let me know in the comments. Save Jungle, what's happening with Martial? Is he coming back? I hope not. I hope he's going to be sold. I've made that clear. How many players do you honestly think we will get this summer? I think we'll get 4. That's what I think. Well, let's find out whether I'm right by the time that the September 1st and the transfer window closes shut. But I think we'll get 4 in. That's what my gut's telling me. I'll answer this once because there's some questions that keep coming in. There really is no update on him. And there really is no point talking about him because the club has made it clear he's not playing for the club again. Not end of story, but until something comes out, and you don't ask me for an update. The update's going to come from Greater Manchester Police. When they speak about it, then we can have a conversation about it. How on earth is it June already? It's because May's finished and we've gone into June. Let's go down here and see what else you're saying in the comments. Better days are ahead, of course. Nick, the transfer window doesn't open for 8 more days. Let's just wait and see. Of course, you can sign players before the transfer window opens. It just means you can't register them. So they can't technically play. But seeing as we don't play until July, it doesn't really matter that much. Yes, Cavani's Rangnick's already confirmed before the game against Crystal Palace that he's going to be leaving. So goodbye. He is gone. Andy, you're saying we need to go after Timber the same way. He will play every week. I think he'll play every week as well. Sam killing it with sarcasm today. I don't know. It's Thursday. It's bank holiday. I'm going away for a couple of days tomorrow, but I'll be here in the morning. Don't worry. I'll tell you what we've got planned, eh? I might be going away, but I always work hard before I go away for a couple of days so I don't leave you empty-handed. Today, we've got this video going out, and I'm going to do a video next that's going out at lunchtime on the Ten Hag master plan. The video I was going to do yesterday, and then the Paul Pogba situation was announced, and I got a bit distracted, so I did that instead. I'm going to be covering this Ten Hag master plan, the actual core principles he's basing this rebuild and this recruitment on. I'm going to run through that. Tomorrow morning, I'll be here live. We're going to be doing the giveaway for that. 250 quid's going to get given away here live on the stream tomorrow. I've even got some more shirts down there. Look, let me get them. Oh, yeah. Found them. Got loads of these. I got excited after the new kit was, I say new, the kit was released by Adidas. I bought 10 of them. Not from the Glazers. Don't worry about that. I'm going to give some of those away. I don't know how many I'll give away tomorrow, but I'll decide. And then on Friday tomorrow, I've then got an interview with somebody, which is a big scouting report on Jurrien Timber. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be taking a look at Ten Hag's transfers. How many hits and misses has he had in his career at Ajax? I think that's important to understand that context going into this summer. And then on Sunday, we've got an interview with Guido. Jeez. If that doesn't make you subscribe, nothing will. Maybe you just don't want to subscribe. Daisy, thank you very much for the comment. Podcast was great. Worth the listen. I really enjoy the podcast, man. The podcast is something that's very different to anything that goes on YouTube. It's just me and a few mates that I go to the games with whenever I do go to the game, which isn't very often these days, but hey, things have changed. Everybody can support the United however they want to. And I won't ever get drawn into arguments around that shit. But I enjoy it. It's content that only lives in the podcast. It's audio only. I think it's a proper podcast. So I would like you to go and follow their podcast if you haven't already. I mean, anybody can win the shirts anywhere, really. The draw is the draw's live on Facebook and YouTube, but the draw is only for people who have joined the Instagram. Sorry, not the Instagram, the Telegram account. I'm going to be choosing the winner from any member that's joined. There's no favoritism, just one random member that's joined. It's like Fergie days. Transfer window opens, deals done, onto preseason prep. Fingers crossed day. That's what we want. We want when the preseason starts, when we're flying out to Bangkok to play. Is it Liverpool? Is that the opening game? That we've got our deal. We've got our new players on that plane with us. That's what we want to see. All hail Guido, says Josh. I like Guido. Absolutely like Guido. Mate, I won't be. I'll be back here. We'll see. Thank you very much, Simon. Hey, look, I enjoy I enjoy these streams. I enjoy everything. For anybody who's asking about the Telegram account, let me pop that down here one more time. As I said, if you haven't joined already, you want to be joining before tomorrow. I've just dropped the link as a comment there on Facebook and on YouTube. So check the comments. You'll be able to join it there. It's free to join. Just sign up and make sure you join all the channels, and I'll choose one random member. Whew. Anyone you think we should try and start on a free transfer? Andy, we looked through those, and of all the players, I think Belotti was the one that stood out the most. Proven goal scorer, somebody we can get for free, somebody I don't think would be too upset playing second fiddle to Cristiano Ronaldo. Kind of makes sense, right? Kind of makes sense. That's why I think so anyway. And Darius saying, will you be doing a video on youth potential upgrading to the first team next year? I've already done that about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I said 5 youth prospects who should and could be coming into the first team squad next year. I do take bribes. All you got to do to bribe me is pay me £250. It's very cheap. It's an excellent way to bribe me, and you therefore might be in with a chance of winning £250, your own £250. Where's Barry? Barry's here. Barry's always here. Don't worry. Can't overuse Barry. Barry's got to be used in the right time. But don't worry. Barry's always there. Barry's always there. But look, thank you very much for joining in. It's a bank holiday, peeps. If you're in the UK, fucking enjoy it. 4 days. Cheers, Liz. It's pretty much the only good thing you've done for a while. But look, 4-day holiday. I'll be here tomorrow. No bank holiday for me. I'm working hard. I'll be here later on with another video this afternoon. I'll be here tomorrow morning with that big giveaway. I'll be here tomorrow afternoon with another video. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV, and I'll see you soon.